Yes. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I hope I meet each and every one of you well. Yes. Jumai Karim Alaji Aremu Sholade Alakufo. I can see you at the bottom. If you don't comment, I won't be able to see you and I won't know you're watching the stream. So your comment is very, very important because it will tell me that you are on the platform. Good evening. Today is Friday, the 17th day of the 9th month of September 2021. The time in London is exactly 17:04, 4 minutes past 5 o'clock London time. You're all welcome to the stream. Baba T, yes, you're watching the stream from the YouTube channel. Yes, you are welcome. Latif Oladipo Usman, John YouTube, Ola Baju Olufemi, Daranijo Jowon, Steve Osagie, Uche Thibuti Eluma, Nwadike Eberechuku, and Alaja Folake Alawiye. Yes, thank you all. Yeah, Temi Kingswell too is in the house. Yes. Oh, it is 12:04 p.m. where you are. Baba T, you're watching from Toronto. Oh. Keep that secret. I'm not going to mention that. Okay, I'm just going to seal my mouth up. Daranijo Juwon, you said you're watching from the United States. Thank you. Yes, Baba T, long time. I haven't seen you in ages, actually. Yes. Yes, indeed. Toronto. Toronto. Okay, guys, it's another beautiful day, beautiful session. Totoro, okay. Baba T, I can get that. Yes, it's another beautiful day, and we are going to stream, and it's going to be as usual. Feel free. You're free to say whatever you want to, whatever that is in your mind or in your heart. Pour it out. Agahoa Igebo Mabel. Good evening. Thank you. Yes, share the stream if you need to share it so that you can alert the others who might be interested in gaining this super knowledge that is being discharged from the dispatch box from Liberty Media Communications and HALLO magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, Ifeoma Nwobodo, good evening. Yes, we are going straight into hashtag The Bleeding Edge episode 093. Yes, The Bleeding Edge. The series that started over a year ago. So that's exactly where we're going into episode number 93. Oh, it's unbelievable that I've actually chunked out 93 episodes of The Bleeding Edge in the last year. Amazing. Okay, it's not going to be easy today. It's going to be a little bit rough. And I can see someone. Who is that person that I think I posted that comment? Yes, it is Daranijo Juwon. Let me post it again. Your comment earlier on. It reads, "This is really crazy. Nigeria schools look like that. Killing everywhere. When is it going to stop? Black people, let's think and use our brain." That's part of exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today, because I'm still standing on the point that when the spiritual source of all creation posted it on my mind to actually stream my first show based on love, that black leaders, they just don't love their own people. It's been tested by them, starting all the way from the slave trade era. Now, the notion is that if black leaders can, as a matter of fact, sell their own people into slavery, if they can kill their parents or their children for the sake of money, they will do anything, so they are not to be trusted. Adegoke Adejare. We are going in there. Oh dear. Oh dear. Adegoke Adejare, you said Oga Frank, people are actually shocked FFK is back in the APC. We're still going to go there. That's why I said I've got loads of stuff for you guys that will stimulate your brain, at least over the period of the weekend. Some of those things that you're going to gather in terms of information, of course. Now, the black people. I'm going to start from the beginning, because when I presented it, that the blacks at the root cause of their own problem. Now, cast your mind back to the slave trade era. We're talking about a terrible event that happened in the history of mankind, humanity, 400-500 years ago. Slave trade. And those community leaders, as at that time, sold their own individual people to the white people to be shipped over to Europe and the America. You see, the same curse from those 400-500 years still plaguing the black people. I would have thought black people should have learned a big lesson, but no. They are the root cause of their own problem. So, as it was yesterday, yesteryears, it is today. And my prayers is that it will not be the same tomorrow, but it seems like it. Sure, it seems like it. Now, let me first of all give you a taste of this first video to buttress that argument, so that you can see this yourselves. Dated back, because I want to take your mind back into those memory lane. It was my intention earlier on to use this material, but for some reasons the material just kept disappearing. Now, I'm bringing it into the studio now, guys. I want you to please pay close attention. Let me post your comment. Darani Jojo, you said black people cannot run anything. Selfish brain stomper. Okay. I'm going to play you this tape. And I want you to please watch it closely with your whole heart. Listen to that. Sorry, this is in Yoruba, but it was a reflection of the last slave trade. Now, let me break that one down for you. Okay, let me break it down. Now, what the lady in the clip was trying to explain is that she happens to be a direct descendant of a slave trade merchant who was equally a slave those days. So that was what she was explaining. Let's go back because it is in Yoruba. I might have to be pausing. I might have to pause and explain. But let me play this. Okay. Now look at this. Àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n lò tán fi ṣe pàṣípàrọ̀, the items that were used as a trade by barter by the white people in exchange for their own people. You can clearly see that. Umbrella, and guess what? Hot drinks such as Shinap. Let's watch this. So one umbrella will be exchanged for 40 people, 40 strong, hefty black men. Just one umbrella. 40 people will replace that one umbrella. See how ruthless those generations were. Umbrella. Let's carry on. They've kept the original bottle in the archive. You see, kettle was amongst it as gifts, beads, and glasses, mirror. See, 5 slaves will be exchanged for one plate. The barrel of gun will be exchanged for 40 slaves. Share this now, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious. Now, watch this. $40 people in that small tacky room.
So
That one was exchanged for 10 slaves. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Trade by barter. Ìyàwó àtọmọ, ìgò tí kan, one wife and children. Yes, a man 1873 used his wife and his child for a bottle of hot. Guys, share the stream. It is extremely important. There's a lot of lessons and a lot of revelations. Okay, all right. See that? You hear that? You hear that? See that? They shouldn't eat the farm produce. Exactly what the Fulanis are trying with us today. See that? Slave doesn't have names. That is the Baba there. Seriki again. You see that?
English, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese. So kí bàbá tó ní òmìnira gbà yìí, Williams pè wọ́n, ó ní nínú kó sì wà lábẹ́ òun gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹrú àti kó dìkan lára tó máa rẹ̀ tó máa gbẹ́rú wá fún un. Bàbá dé àgbẹ̀ tó ti wà lẹ́rú, gẹ́gẹ́ láti ọmọ ọdún mẹ́fà kó lábẹ́ àwọn òbí kò lọ́ṣọ̀. So láti di slave merchant, òun náà rẹ̀ rú.
You see that?
Ọba máa ń korúkọ sí ẹ̀yìn àwọn ẹrú àgbègbè àyà. Ẹni tó bá rí ẹrú á kọ orúkọ ẹ̀sìn láti lè lẹ́rú ọmọ ìyá.
See that? The wickedness of the black race. These were your leaders of yesteryears. You see, the umbrella that was used in exchange for 40 people. That was the umbrella 400 years ago.
Alhamdulillah.
Opashe, he's got staff of office. First paramount ruler. Lugard, the same Lord Lugard is now coming in to shove.
Olówó ẹ̀rọ ìlẹ̀ ó fi fẹ́ láti parí ju wọn mú ní ẹrú lọ lọ́jọ́ tí fi owó jagun owó ọṣẹ tó lọ lọ tradition lé. Mo sọ fún mi yàrá 40 lọ àgbègbè nínú yàrá kan every
40 rooms, and in each room they've got 40. See, you see that? You see, those ones were making love to themselves. See them? See the punishment meted on them. "128 wives." He doesn't have many wives, but Baba had 128 wives. Those are the children. This is interesting, guys, because we're going to make something out of it. You see that? Muiz Banire.
No, I'm proud to be one of the descendants.
Is this not an eye opener for you, Lord? Of course it is. 1847. You see that? What lessons have you learned? What exactly have you learned from that? 1847, the story of the slave trade, the worst crime perpetrated on humanity. 1847. We're talking about 174 years ago, if I'm right. Maybe somebody can help us. 2021 minus 1847. 173, 174. Am I correct? Say 174, yeah. And then 40 slaves in each cubicle room. And they've got 40 rooms. 40 of those cubicle rooms with a very small, tiny air vent. Now, picture this. Those 40 people in that tiny cubicle room. Picture this. Their body heat they'll be generating body heat out of their body, and they've got a very tiny air vent that hardly air can probably flow through it, and no bed. They're cramped in a cubicle room, very tiny cubicle room, and those cubicle room, they've got 40 of them on site. So 40 in a cubicle room that each slaves are occupying, multiply by the 40 cubicle rooms in the compound. So we're talking about, at a stretch, in one go, we're talking about 1,600 slaves. You heard. One man, because of a bottle of hot drinks, maybe shinap or gin, took the bottle of gin or shinap or whatever it was, the liquor it was, but it was a bottle of liquor, and the bottle is still there in existence today as history and story to be told. Took the liquor in exchange for his wife and his child. Lizzie Azu, good evening. Olatuboston Salako, good evening to you too. Charles Erezwa, good evening. Did you hear that? Now, the question now is, how have they performed those days? Umbrella in exchange for 40 slaves. And you heard once again, Lugard was the person that made Siriki again as the paramount ruler of that place, so he can catch as many slaves as possible for them to be shipped to Europe and to the United States. Now, where is the love by the black people towards their own people? I see none. Basically, none. None at all. None. Now, this is now taking me back to a private conversation between one of the top QCs in the United Kingdom by the name of Dr. Hartley Booth. Those days from Bowen Leighton, right in London Bridge, top law firm, one of the top law firms in the UK. Dr. Hartley Booth was the man that actually opened my eyes into seeing things I have never seen before. And that was why it was pressed on me by the spiritual source of all creation to come out with that first stream on love. And I ask genuinely the way Dr. Hartley Booth asked me specifically as well. I'm talking about many, many years ago. I'm talking about 1997 here, ladies and gentlemen. An event that happened between Dr. Hartley Booth from Bowen Leighton in London Bridge and myself. Longest time. This was how Dr. Booth puts the question. He said to me, "Frank, I know you're a Christian." I said, "Yes." He said, "What exactly do you think God requires from each and every one of us that is molded in his own likeness in his own image. We are just an image. Because, make no mistakes, we were molded from dust. And dust will return to, whether you like it or not. Each and everything has got time. There is a time when we were new. There is a time when we are in the mid of our life, and there is a time we have to answer the call of nature and return back to dust. And I looked, and I said to Dr. Booth, having read the Bible time after time, one word constantly banged in my head. I said, that word is love. He said, cool. He said, and do you really think and genuinely that the black people love their own people? Frank. And straight away, my mind went straight into the country you and I came from. That shithole. That stupid, hopeless location 9 that I proved to you all numerologically. I said, no, black people don't love their own people. He cited instances for me that many years ago, his own forefathers were trade merchants, and all they care about is trade. But if black people love their own people, they will not accept the gifts by my forefathers. The greed by our forefathers made us to be the most useless race on the surface of the planet, because the white man will never trust a black man. And that was true. Then he said, if there is a job that is going, maybe a middle or a high profile job in England, if the United Kingdom were unable to fill their own children into such a high profile position, if there is a competition between the Asians and the black man, they'll rather give that job to an Asian than to give it to a black man, because a black man will subsequently stab them in the back the way they've been stabbing themselves. Events of 400 years ago still haunting the black race. Now, let us now picture those terrible events of the slave trade period and bring it into the current state that we are. The current state that we are. Because many people will want a quick magic wand into the problems of the black race. But the black race themselves are the worst of their own enemies. Now, in that video, umbrella for 40 slaves. A man accepting a liquor, something that he will drink and become tipsy, if not lose his senses. He will be lucky if the liquor probably lasts months. It's not that we don't have our own natural liquor, palm wine, drawn from the palm tree, that is even healthier because it is 100% organic and natural. See? Just one bottle of either gin or schnapp. In exchange, he traded his wife and his child. If a black man can do that, knowing fully well that this is your wife, and you opt to trade your wife and your child as slaves in exchange for a liquor. Think about that. Many of you will now see why I have been crazy, mad about the problems that we face as a race. It is a big issue. You see, big issue, big problem. Now, this next one, I want you to please watch this. I'm going to leave you because this is in English. And if all the pastors from each and every denominations, especially the evangelical ones, are now they've been calling for prayers across that nation for some time. They've been fasting. We pretend to love God, but in reality, black people don't love God. They love Satan. They love Lucifer. They don't love God. Look at all your religious leaders. Politicians will come to them. They will give them brown envelopes. They will run after them. They will command their congregation to vote for this party, to vote for that party. The same problem hundreds of years ago. You're still parabolating and you've not learned one single lesson. Adegoke Adejare, you said, we don't need prayers. We just need our industrial cities back from the hands of the invading churches. I'm still coming back to that. Listen to this.
I do Charles here. Something bothers me, and that's why I'm making this video today. I was scrolling down to social media, right? Going, just browsing down social media, and I've seen few videos of some pastors praying or calling for prayers for Nigeria. I mean, recently, like a few days ago, I've seen some talking about the state of Nigeria right now, the insecurity, the killings, and at the end of their speech, let's rise up on our feet, let's pray. Rise up on your feet, let's pray for Nigeria. God has to do something, God has to intervene. And I'm just sitting there and watching, and I kept saying to myself, do we really need prayers at this time? Is it really prayers that we need? Let me put it that way. Because since I was young and growing up with this Pentecostal movement, I've heard and I've seen and I've participated in prayers for Nigeria. Most of us have done. We've prayed, we've gone the night vigil, we've fasted, we've cried, we've rolled on the floor for Nigeria, for God to intervene. And that's always the topic. Let God intervene for Nigeria.
We've done all this for many years. Yet, it's getting worse. Yet, killings are getting worse. Yet, insecurity is at its peak. Yet, the common citizen cannot have hope. No hope. The common graduate, no hope, no job. We have prayed, we have cried, and I had to ask myself recently, like having a discussion with God. And there's something that really struck me. And this is, if a father, you as a father, have children, and you have children who have prayed or they are knocking on your door, you're inside. They did whatever they did wrong, yeah? And they've come back and they're knocking on your door. They've banged the door, they're crying, Dad, I'm sorry, forgive us, intervene, I'm in trouble, something is after me, please open for me, please keep me safe, please help me. Would you, as an earthly father, not be moved to open the door to say to your child, what is it, how can I help, what is going on? If you can do that, are you saying to me that God Almighty, the one that loved us so much that He gave His only Son, the one that you preach, I mean your gospel, that God so loved the world that He gave His only Son to die for me and you? Do you really think that this God has not heard our prayer all these years? That this God has not seen our tears all these years? Do you really think that God is so hardened against just Nigeria? That China, that came from nothing, have become one of the world powers? That God loves them more than you? Do you not think there is something more than prayer? Do you not think there is something more than prayer that you are not doing? Religious leaders, I think you should stop calling people, rise up, let's pray for Nigeria. We have prayed enough. What we need now is action. If you as religious leaders leading all these large Pentecostal centers where you have built and scattered all over the nation, you have the politicians as your members. You have the top politicians as your members. You have the lawmakers as your members. I mean, most people in Nigeria are either Muslim or Christians. Most of the politicians who are Christians are members of your churches. So why can't you tell them the truth? Why can't you hold them to ransom? Is it not religious leaders like Martin Luther King that brought reformation? Did he just say, rise up, let's pray? If Martin Luther King had to reason and keep saying, let's pray, will there be reformation? No. Martin Luther led action was on the forefront of change. He called people and told them the truth. He gathered a crowd and he spoke the truth on behalf of the people. I've never for once, watching through this history of Martin Luther, seen him gather crowds and say, let's do this fast, let's do this fast. For reformation, let God intervene, because God passes through man. He's already given us everything we need. I am telling you now that we have prayed enough. Why don't you start acting? Why don't you start telling those people in your churches, those lawmakers, those politicians, the truth? Why can't you face them? Why can't you hold them to ransom? Why don't you ask them for change? Why doesn't the change start from you, your church?
Correct.
Do you think that calling let's rise up and pray just because people just to say, that pastor is doing something. You're doing nothing, absolutely nothing.
Correct.
Nothing. You are so afraid to even die because you've amassed all this private jets and money and properties everywhere. That is what your religion is all about. Gathering properties as well. You don't care about nobody. You don't care about nobody. When God created man, He created man in His image.
I just said that.
He gave us a mandate, and the mandate was to go and dominate the earth, subdue. You've already got it in you. God has already put it in you. You think God didn't know that Nigeria would be like this? And He raised people with knowledge, wisdom. Look at Nigerians all over the world. Making waves, creating, doing marvelous things.
Correct.
God put everything in us. But what have we done? We've turned away from the things inside of us and chasing shadows. Let us pray. Something you don't know.
Yeah, yes.
Accountability. Holding your leaders to rise up, holding them to say that we have to be accountable. We've got to rise up for these things to change. We need change. No, you are standing every day. Let us pray. Which makes no sense. I feel sometimes God looks at us and says, is it me that created this group of people?
The black race.
It's time to stop this prayer. Prayer, we have prayed enough. Now it's time to act. Religious leader, if you don't know what to do, let me tell you, you should be leading change. You should be leading change, going to Asoro, demanding change. You are leading millions of people following you like a God. You should be at the forefront of change, demanding that human life be respected, demanding that security should be restored in the nation. You should be in Asoro asking for change.
No, they won't do that.
So should it be, because that is what you represent, God on earth. But no, that is not what you represent. You represent your stomach. Your stomach. That's what you represent. That is why you can never raise a finger. You cannot raise a finger to ask, to tell the truth before those people sitting and giving you fat tithes every month. You cannot tell them the truth. So stop calling poor people to pray, because they have prayed enough. And let me tell you, God Almighty answered our prayer long time ago, even before we were born. To stop disturbing God and start doing what you should be doing, acting.
Indeed, you heard. The black race. Well put together by the fine lady. See, earlier, let me see if I can bring in some of these graphics for you. Okay, I'll have to go into here, and I will have to bring in those pictures because I want to go into the next phase. The next phase is what we have to go into now, and I've assembled all the graphics nice and tidy. Somebody's been trying to call me, but I'm afraid I'm not going to attend to any call whilst I am live streaming. Now, look at this picture, or should I actually bring it in from, let me see if I can bring it in from, yeah, let me see if I can bring it in here. Yeah, I think it will be better here, and I can alternate them from here. Just brace up yourselves, guys. Okay, I think it will be superb from this place. Okay, now, yeah, Okay, I want to show you this. That picture definitely rings bell in your ears. Many of you still remember that picture. Esther Adetun Ewetuga, good evening. I hope you enjoy the stream. Femi Fanikayode and Sunday Igboho pictured in there. You see, they don't know Femi Fanikayode. Let me bring in this one again. When that came up too, Nnamdi Kanu and Femi Fanikayode, I want Nnamdi Kanu. Femi Fanikayode belongs to the group of reckless and heartless politicians. I know him very well. Now, the same one is repeated. I want Sunday Igboho as well. We're now getting a little bit now deeper. You see, the moment Femi Fanikayode stepped, you see, you know us at that time. Let me give you a quick rundown. You see, Femi Fanikayode was called by the power brokers because he belongs to that place. And don't forget, the late Abba Kyari, the chief of staff to the fake latex silicon Muhammadu Buhari, was a very good friend of Femi Fanikayode. And they speak to themselves time after time. Femi Fanikayode is being settled time after time from the presidency. You see, because Sunday Igboho, as at that time, came into the agitation, many people thought that Frank was stupid. But I was not stupid. Specifically, I streamed a show in the same Bleeding Edge. I can't remember what episode of the Bleeding Edge that was. See, I tried to analyze the implications of Femi Fanikayode coming over to Sunday Igboho's house. But a lot of people that were morons who simply cannot use their head to think and then look back at the events of the past, extrapolate those events, and then dig deep into those events, then look at what is on ground happening now. Now, this picture of Femi Fanikayode that you are seeing was a coded message. Because Femi Fanikayode, don't forget, he's an Ogboni man too. Did you hear that? Femi Fanikayode is an Ogboni man. Femi Fanikayode will not dispute that. I am saying it. I don't know if Sunday Igboho is in Ogboni fraternity or not, but if Sunday Igboho is inside the Ogboni fraternity, he probably should have backed down, because awo ti pe awo. Now, Femi Fani-Kayode, if you look straight into his head, that was the code. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo ẹni tó lójú ló fi ń ríran. I streamed and I want Sunday Igboho to run fast, because they sent Femi Fani-Kayode from the presidency to come and survey. I streamed that live, but you see where information is. Where information is, I'll take your comment, guys. Yeah, I'll take your comments. Esther Adeton, you see the face of the traitor. Leave your comments, guys. I think Esther Iwetuga said something. Okay, Esther, you said you remembered that show. Thank you. And you said you don't think Femi Fani-Kayode is an Ogboni man. He is an Ogboni man. And that red cap in his head was a coded message. I'm telling you, it was a coded message of the blood that will flow. But many people still don't know what happened after that. See, just immediately after that, then he met with other people. Other people then started to take interest, but I was warning him. First, I made it known. I said the struggle for the Yoruba agitation is not for somebody like Sunday Igboho. Everyone attacked me. I remembered when I streamed live, somebody who perhaps right now could not even get access to my show anymore insulted my own intelligence by passing a comment that what I wasted because of my struggle for Nigeria was not effective, and that the money Igboho made from Olagunsoye, Oyinlola, from Ladoja and all the politicians, he's pumping the same money back into the Yoruba agitation. That is how stupid and how dumb some people can be. I highlighted emphatically, and I said, the Yoruba struggle and agitation is not for the likes of Sunday Igboho, and I will still maintain my stand. I had no problems with Sunday Igboho confronting the Seriki in Ibarakba and the rest of it. To me, my advice to him as at that time was, stick your guns, Sunday Igboho, to fight the Fulanis, and don't come near the Yoruba agitation. If Sunday Igboho stick his gun into fighting the Fulanis, that would have been a totally different kettle of fish. I can hear some people saying the way I am dissecting the information. Well, I don't know Jacob Stephen. I don't know whether you were in that stream. I'm always pretty straightforward. Now, let me go straight to it. I said to people, I said, Igboho shouldn't come into the agitation. Gani Adams said something in parables, but they never got it. To tell Sunday Igboho. But those that saw Igboho as somebody they can easily coerced. That's one word in English I'll use. He was cajoled. That's another word. Sunday Igboho, I made it public. Made his money from politics. Stick with them. I even said it's a matter of time that his political godfather at the time, because he normally called Ladoja, the former governor of Oyo State, Uluwami, Muni, his Uluwami had already crossed carpet to Bola Tinubu. And we all know exactly his connections with Bola Tinubu as well. And I said it is not for Sunday Igboho. The person who is going to fight this cause must not have been in any political affiliation. Professor Banji Akintoye himself, I was skeptical because when Nigeria was Nigeria, when he was a senator, I made it known he wouldn't like Nigeria to break because he was a senator in Ekiti then under the UPN, Unity Party of Nigeria. Chief Obafemi Awolowo's party. So Sunday Igboho shouldn't have come in because he made his money in politics, even though he's got his own business, which I am not going to go into any details because that is his business. But what pained the politicians is the fact that they gave him that money to make him to be who he is, and as part and parcel of their cabal, they saw it as an insult after he's been enriched. I was the same person that warned them of the impending doom of how Asorok were planning to plant cocaine, throw cocaine through his fence. Maybe about 10 kilograms of pure cocaine. And I told them that they will be prepared with a warrant, such warrant. They know exactly where the drugs planted. They'll just go for it. That was shelved. A week before that time too, I streamed the show that they are coming for you. I said they are planning, they are coming. There was a secret meeting in Asorok that landed in my ears, to the extent that that meeting that was between some caliber of people right inside Asorok concluded that even if Oni of Ife or any Yoruba Oba should stand on their way, they should kill them, because they wanted Sunday Igboho by all means. See, I made it known to people. I said, look, I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm really very, very close to many of these high profile politicians. In fact, I'm a Babangida man. I'm an IBB man. Just like, look, Febi Fanikayode and I and Donyo Kukwe, all of us, we've met inside IBBs. We met many, many times inside the Hilltop Mansion when I used to travel frequently to Nigeria, thinking that we can still patch things up. I know them. But the differences was that if I probably would have been enriched and maybe 10 years ago, I accepted the offer because it was looming on the horizon. Maybe right now I would have been a multi-billionaire. And do you honestly think if I am inside that caucus or that circle and I'm controlling several billions of dollars, you really think I am going to come into the agitation? No, God, the spiritual source of all creation, preserved me for a day like this. You see, the people that are meant to be fighting this, they won't have anything with any government or whatever, and they've got to be ruthless. Many people still don't know. Go back. I want people to go back and ask Ayo Ogudimo, whose Facebook profile name is Citizen AY, just immediately after the 2019 general elections. In fact, before the 2019 general elections, so many revelations that I made that shocked the whole world. I advised because they don't know. I told Ayogundimo, Citizen AY, go back to him and say, I say so. Because there are some information I will share with people on a personal relationship, and sometimes I'll even call in onto their show to make such revelations. I advised 2019 should have been a turning point where things will change. I'm not an Omoyele Showere's person, to be very honest with you. I'm not. But the fact of the matter was, I was looking at the events of the past, and I knew that the revolution that must engulf that country is a revolution to snatch power away from those hopeless, heartless, ruthless leaders that marooned themselves as politicians. I advised Citizen AY Ayogundimo to tell Omoyele Sowore to ditch presidential ambition, leave presidential ambition, and I gave them the calculations that the only thing that will save the current dilemma is if Omoyele Showere's gang in his party can hijack the Senate and the Federal House of Reps. Then impeachment will just follow, and you just get rid of the president, or if the vice president then became president, then impeachment will just be going, will be flowing. Do you want the honest answer that Ayogundemu Citizen AY said to me? Oh, Egbo Frank, we are sorry, we don't want that. We don't want that senatorial. We want the presidency. I said, you're all wasting your time then. See? FFK, like father, like son. Igbo never saw this coming. I saw it coming. Because they don't know them. Nnamdi Kanu never saw this coming. I saw it coming. They trusted him too much. They never saw all those things. They trusted them. Now, here, I'm coming. Here. Did you all remember this? When I presented you with this. I've used this time after time. These were all my own creation, if I may put it that way. Yeah. Now, here, you've got 3 individual groups. Did you hear that? 3 individual groups vying for the soul of Nigeria in 2023. First are the agitators. Second are those that wanted a restructure. And those that wanted that restructure, they want us to go back to the 1960-1963 regional autonomy. Yeah? And then the 2023 election group. It has started. The 2023 election group has been ignited. It's been ignited. (2023) has been ignited. Trust me. When I posed this question, will there be 2023 in Nigeria? I started posing this question since December last year. But many people were not even looking at your history. I was the first person that came up with that. Not many people saw that. See? Now, the same man, that same man, that same FFK, you see, after his visit to Igbo's house, the next visit was a visit to Kogi State. Many things went underground there between FFK, Sunday Igboho, Yaya Bello, and a few other people. Let's keep that away from the public glare. See, after that visit, that came up. Now, after that came up, what happened next? This one surfaced. That one surfaced. That surfaced. And then the same man, the same FFK. You perhaps many of you don't remember that this has been in the making for some time. And let me show you this. Let me show you this. Perhaps some of you will still remember this one. Now, you can see clearly in December 2019. This was FFK's tweet, and you can clearly see the date tweeted from his Android. 11:14 in the morning, 15th of December 2019. He said on tweet that the suggestion that I join the APC is false and insulting. Those that are peddling this fake news should bury their heads in shame. With what we have witnessed, I would rather die than join a filthy, rat-infested sinking ship like the Almanjiri People's Congress, APC. Guys, 2019, FFK, Femi Fani-Kayode, like father, like son. Like father, like son. Let's check this out. This is another very good one. Watch this one. If President Buhari asks me to jump into fire, I will not hesitate to jump into it. That was Yaya Bello. Then FFK then replied, when I wrote that this boy was a useful idiot and an accursed slave, some said I was being harsh. Truth is that he is worse than that. His mental faculties are non-functional. This was in 2018, 5/4/2018. That same man, the same man, Yaya Bello. Now, you are now beginning to think that what the hell is happening to you. You're beginning to think that what the hell is happening to you in that location 9. Now, there's a lot more coming, guys. I'm just looking for one of the stuff I want to showcase with you. This is interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. This, I want you to listen to it.
Some of the standards that you have is giving you this kind of trouble that you're seeing today. Is it a crisis right now? Are you sticking with the party?
Of course. The PDP is my party. I will never leave the party.
You're never considering going back to the APC?
I would never. APC? Absolutely out of the question. So kingdom comes, until Jesus said that, I will never happen.
But you left the PDP for the
Well, we
APC.
discussed that on many occasions. I told you my reasons for doing that at that time. I was not happy.
Oh dear. See, the Nigerian politics is the first politics that I know of that politicians don't have conscience and they don't have scruples. They don't. Nigerian politicians are the rogue sets of politicians in the world that can neither be conservative nor liberal or labor. All of them stomach infrastructure, stealing, looting. I've never seen a situation whereby in a civilized democracy people will just be cross-carpeting anyhow. I've never seen it. Jeremy Corbyn, when he lost the elections, and Boris Johnson became our PM, he never said because he lost the elections, and as such, the right thing for him to do is to defect to either Lib Dem or the Conservative, because the Conservative Party is the party in power. You see, when they won that 2019 general elections, no, in fact, it was 2015 general elections, and we begin to see of politicians that looted their individual states dried, then cross-carpeting into the APC. That was when I knew that they don't have scruples, they don't have conscience. And just unlike the tape of the slave trade that I played you, let me show you again so that you guys can see it, because many of you were not in the house as at that time. The problem of the black race started from the day blacks started selling their own people. Let's go through it once again. Then you will know the reasons why the black man will be where they are forever and ever. Watch this. Watch that. One umbrella in exchange for 40 people. Watch it. Wife and his child. Cannon guns. Mirror and beats. Ten slaves in exchange for one pot. That gone. 40 slaves. The door has been there since 1840. You see the compound? This was the beginning of the destruction of the black race you're looking at. Yeah, that's a cubicle. See? See that? Eighteen 1840. Watch that. That plate. 10 slaves. Yeah, because there are 5 plates there.
ṣe mú idea fún mi kí fún ẹ.
Trade by barter.
Mo sọ fún tẹ́lẹ̀ pé èèyàn kan fi ìyàwó àtọmọ fi gba ìgò ọtí kan.
That's the bottle.
Torí ìgò ọtí ìyàwó àtọmọ láti 1873.
Àwọn ọmọ afọ́rẹ̀ kò sí bàbá gbọ́ ni.
Ṣé orin ni àbí kí ni?
Ó lè jẹ́ orin náà máa gbọ́. Àwọn aláwọ̀
The gramophone machine that they used in playing those records. They've thrown it away. You see? You see? Black on black. You see that?
Àwọn tó bá stop nínú àwọn èèyàn máa lò wọ́n á da ìwòlò sí òkè ẹ̀mí wọn báyìí wọ́n á lò pọ̀ mọ́ ti sàlẹ̀ wọ́n á kọ́ yìí láti lè má jẹ nǹkan pàdé kó má bàa lè sọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ wọn lè wà fásità so ilé ọmọ kékeré ló máa fi sùn lọ́lọ́dẹ ajá.
Ṣé ìṣe gbàgbàgbà yìí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n bá lè dàwọn òun náà kékeré táwọn lò fọwọ́ wọn gẹ́gẹ́ eléyìí mẹ́ta ló ń lò wọ́n máa fi wọ́n pọ̀ ní bàdí. Ayé òdìlì ti ẹrú òní orúkọ.
Báwa ṣe ṣe yìí?
Ẹrú òní orúkọ. Ṣé ṣáà ti fídíò fẹ́ ká sí síbẹ̀ nínú ilé? Ṣé bàbá gbogbo orúkọ tí yà àti bàbá ẹ̀ sọ ọkọ̀ ní fárẹ̀. Súnú ẹ̀
Siriki.
Ní ọmọ mẹ́fà òun ni Abbas. Abbas jẹ́ ara àjà omi which is Benin Republic now. Abbas lè tàtà fún Williams òyìnbó kọ́ bàbá bó ṣe ń kọ́ bó ṣe ń kà bàbá lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn lè kà.
You hear that?
Òṣèlú tí bàbá òde sọ pé wọ́n lè sọ English, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese lára àwọn àti bàbá yẹn. So kí bàbá tó ní òmìnira gbà yẹn Williams pè wọ́n ó ní nínú kó sì wà lábẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹrú àti kó dìbò lára tó máa rẹ̀ tó máa gbẹ́rú lọ́fọ̀.
Correct?
Bàbá dé àgbẹ̀ tó ti wà lẹ́rú egla ọmọ ọdún mẹ́fà ó lábẹ́ àwọn òbí collection so láti di slave merchant òun náà rẹ̀rú.
You see that?
Ayájọ́ ti fọmọ ẹ̀yẹ ó fi máa ń kórúkọ sí ẹ̀yìn àwọn ẹrú àbí gbáyà ẹni tó bá rí ẹrú á kọ orúkọ ẹ̀ sí láti lè lẹ́rú ọmọ ìyá wọn bá lọ. Àwọn kọ́nọ́lá tó ń gbà
Tí wọ́n ní ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀rọ gbà yẹn.
kọ́nọ́lá aláfọwọ́ ni.
You see that? You see? That was the umbrella that was exchanged for 40 slaves.
Ayakumullah. La ilaha illallah. Ayakumullah. Alhamdulillah.
Hear that? General Lord Lugard.
Olówó ẹ̀rọ ìlélẹ̀ ó fi fẹ́ láti parí ju kí wọ́n mú ẹrú lọ lọ́jọ́ tó fi mú jagun ọṣọ tó lọ sí ẹ̀ṣọ́ ìlú. mo sọ fún yín yàrá 40 lọ àgbèlè nínú yàrá kan
40 individual cubicles.
so lára aṣọ bàbá náà
Ó bá jẹ́ jọ́sìn kò sí ní kò sí ní.
bàbá táwọn ṣe lè lórí bọ́ọ̀lù aláṣọ àwọn náà sí àtàwọn ọmọ tó kó wọn lẹ́rù àwọn méjì ẹrù ni wọn tó kí wọ́n bára wọn ní àjọṣepọ̀
See that? See that? See that? Physical and mental scars inflicted on their own race. Bàbá ò níyàwó púpọ̀, but ó níyàwó 128.
Àwọn ọmọ bàbá rẹ̀ àtẹlẹ́yìn
144 children.
àkọ́kọ́ bàbá lélẹ̀ òun náà múra rẹ̀ bàbá tẹ́ bá wá ṣe bá ṣe so last month bàbá lélẹ̀ last month yìí òun ní lálẹ́ No, I'm proud to be one of the descendants.
See? You see that? They call it agbole. That is konga. Well, 1847. 174 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, black on black. Black on black. If black people can inflict such a dangerous physical, mental, and emotional injury onto their own people, 300, 400, 500, 100 years ago, and we're still going through the same physical, emotional, and mental torture in modern day civilization. What's the future? Let me take your comment. Esther, let me take it. Amina Olayinka, you're watching the stream on YouTube. Let me post your comment. Aminat, you said, let me see. Yes, let me see. You said she can't be anything without belonging to any of this society. There's a lot more to that. Aminat. Jacob Stephen, you said the way I'm dissecting this information now is not then, it was. Trust me. Go back and watch it. Many people were not listening attentively to each and every spoken word that came out of my mouth at the time. Each and everybody were perhaps engulfed in different things, or their mind they probably are watching the stream, but they're not consuming word for word the pieces that I was pumping out of my brain. Esther, JP said, we need your brain, please, in this journey. I tried to help them. Let me tell you exactly. Esther, I did turn away to God. Let me tell you exactly what is happening. When they were going astray, because many of the agitators that you see, for instance, when many people don't know exactly what transpired, when people that were close to Sunday Igboho wanted to give him a professional information man, a journalist that will be his spokesman, and within I wasn't involved because I knew it would be very, very difficult for Sunday Igboho to get a spokesman. They can't call me, I won't accept it, and they needed experienced someone that will be his spokesperson. But then I gathered that Koiki turned the table round, and that the guy that was meant to be Igboho's spokesman was with him in Ibadan. And when he left Ibadan for Lagos, before he got to Lagos, Koiki had already come online to say Igboho had already appointed him as the spokesperson. So that was the beginning of the crack. And on the spot, I picked up the phone and I called Koiki to first warn him that he wants to take a big role that he's not really well prepared for, and he's not been through the walls of any communication school, and this is a real technical problems that if you are not really grounded as a spokesperson, you'll put everything into disarray. I told him to call me. I want to speak to him and Igbo at the same time. That the journey, I don't want it messed up until that kingdom come. No calls from that moment. And all I wanted to say to Koiki at the time was, look, because you are not a professionally trained information provider, if anything is not very clear to you that you need a second opinion, feel free to call me and I'll gladly advise both of you. No. And then many of all the agitators, because Facebook and social media provided a platform that everybody can just come up and then they can own their own TV or they can own their own station. Then we begin to see misrepresentation, misinformation in dissemination of information. Many people will say what they're not supposed to say. Some information that were not supposed to be deposited in the public domain, then you will see people depositing those information in public domain. Things that you're not supposed to say, that you're meant to keep secret, will be blown out of proportion. They'll lock me up with them. I don't belong to any of their agitators, to be honest with you. Because then I had thought that probably we can assemble all our eggs into one basket and we all speak with one voice. But what you find eventually is that you find after we've consulted, they've consulted me and I've given advice on what we need to do. Okay, you blow it, I blow it, that person blow it, is the same. Then you find out that Citizen AY Ayo Gundimu is doing something different. Koiki is doing something different. Everybody now turned the agitation into money spinning exercise. And I did warn everyone. I warned them. Yes, another traitor, Esther Adeton. Yes, again, Adegoke Adejare, you posted FFK was an informant, the one with brains. Yes, of course I did warned. I warned them, but Frank Bello's mouth stinks of foul spool at the time. That's how I can that's the best description I can give to the circumstances of those events. Now, not only that, many other people messed up the agitation, to which I came, and I wasn't too shy, and I told them it's becoming a farce. FARSE. In other words, that agitation, the way everybody were shouting about it, and they begin to misinform the general public, and they turn it into a money spinning exercise. This one will form his own GoFundMe, that one will form their own GoFund. I'm not against each and every Yoruba sons and daughter channeling money towards our agitation, but my own concern at the time was all the Babas should please lock themselves. I even mentioned names. I mentioned Gani Adams. I mentioned Chief Boyega Adejumo. I mentioned Baba Ayo Adebanjo. In fact, I crossed path with Chief Ayo Adebanjo too, because of my hard line, and Chief Boyega Adejumo. We crossed path. We're back because everything I was chunking out as at that time was the whole truth. Lock yourself. Professor Banji Akitoye alone cannot be the face of this agitation. Fine, if they lock themselves up and they provide us with one formidable leader, I even benchmark the whole exercise with IPOP. I said the moment IPOP is mentioned, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes to mind. I said, we haven't got that. Gani Adams wants to lead. Sunday Igboho wants to lead. He said he doesn't want to lead. But then Professor Banji Akitoye, then everything then became just two faces. So all the intellectuals, the people that will fight this cause intellectually, they then backed out. Many of you don't know. Bukola Odufadini Olusonya, hi, you're watching from California. You said you're shocked. I'm not shocked. Femi Fanikade, I'm not shocked. Look, you will soon see what's going to happen. Adegoke, Adejare, the downside is that FFK fits into the stereotypical Yoruba betrayal narrative. Yes, of course. Like father, like son. His father was like that. Olatubosun Salako, FFK wants to be vice president while Yaya Bello will be president. Thief Tinubu will destroy everything if he doesn't get 2023. It's going to play. It's going to be very, very interesting. Esther, you said, Frank, you are a billion in silence. No, I have peace of mind. My mind is very peaceful. FFK is sick. Esther. Steve Osagie, who is really bankrolling this FFK of a guy? Did you hear exactly what Obasanjo said about FFK? FFK, Femi Fani-Kayode goes where money is. And what you guys don't know was that he still he gets a lot of handout from those people. Not handout, real money I love this. Esther Adeton Retuga, it can only happen in the zoo, Nigeria. Olatubosun Salako. Do you think Tinubu will return to location 9? I'll come back with that answer later on. A lot of people are listening to, see, anytime I come up, they monitor what's going on here. Let me keep that. Adegoke Adejare, again, you posted, Nigeria is the place to visit instead of Ghana. If the government had any brain, we should be making that 2 billion for okay, well, I don't know about that. Oh, Idayatu Muriana, you're watching the stream on YouTube. Good evening. Amina Olayinka, you said it was like Koiki 2 had a mission. You are saying it. Maybe Koiki will still explain the 15 million naira that was put in his account, to which he was unable to account for, to which he said the money was for Koiki Media and that he gave the money to Professor Banji Akitoye. There are many things that you guys don't know. Any one of you, if they ask you for money, don't give. Don't give out your hard-earned money. They are all fraudsters. When that time comes, you will know. But the time, those that are seriously working behind closed doors, the time is coming. Very, very soon. You see, now every one of them are running helter-skelter. They want to engage Frank. No, I said, I can't. You lot had that opportunity last year and you blew it out. It is very hard for me to trust each and every one of you. Just the same way they sold you people as slaves. And you have not learned. They destroyed this agitation. There's a lot more that you don't know that I can't even say many of them online. It will cripple everything. Sometimes I have to be discreet. Mayegun Amotekun Agbaye. Good evening. Yeah. Yes, no worries. No worries. I'm trying to invest on a special software that will create the ebook so that you guys, it can be available around the world as a published ebook, electronic book, that a flip-up ebook. Yeah, it'll soon come. Don't worry. Thank you very much for that prayer. Amotekun Agbaye, Mayegun Amotekun Agbaye said, I'm a blessing to this generation. Thank you. Olodumare will bless me. Inshallah. Thank you. Esther, let's post your comment. You said it all run in FFK family anyway. Yes, indeed. Nike Fontaine. Thank you. Baba B, well done. Thank you. Can that be matron? That's probably matron. Thank you very much. Esther, Obasanjo says his boy just give him the food. Yes, he said so. Thank you very much, matron. I thought as much. You guys. He said the radio money was in the hands of a guy in London here. They have spoken about it on the Zoom meeting last week, and they are handing him over to the lawyer. Well. It's really getting interesting, isn't it? We shouldn't have been in this mess. I swear. We should never have been in this mess. Now, yes, it's 2 hours since I've been streaming, and now, I love this particular one, and I want you to please enjoy this one. And Prince Kosoko's account. This is Prince Kosoko's account of the old Lagos. I love this, and I want you to. There's few bits and pieces that you're going to learn from this.
My name is Prince Olasheni Kosoko, and here is my good old days story. I was born at the Lagos Island maternity into a family of royals. My father, from the Kosoko royal chieftaincy family, is a 4th generation of the direct descendant of King Kosoko, who reigned as Oba of Lagos between 1845 and 1851. While my mother was from the Eletri Washe chieftaincy family, both of them of blessed memories. I come from a middle-class family, with my father starting off as a school teacher and ending up as a quantity surveyor, while my mother worked as a secretary/receptionist for a multinational company in Lagos. Even though I come from a Muslim home,
listen to that.
I started my early schooling at the Holy Cross Catholic School at Oil Mill Street, Lagos Island. At the instance and insistence of Mrs. Ayodele, aka Mama Teacher, against my father's preference for a Muslim school.
You hear that?
I had the opportunity to mix with my schoolmates, as I had to walk the about 3 kilometers distance from my school in Oil Mill Street through Bangboshe Street.
You hear that?
Distractions along the way, especially at Iteku Cemetery, where we plug falling fruits.
That was the same Lagos I grew up in.
Due to sort with themselves, will slug it out physically there. Then all the way to Massey Street, where Mama Teacher served and had an after-school lessons for us. This is where I will have my lunch and siesta until my mom comes to pick me up for home after closing from work. By the way, the Iteku Cemetery, located on Igbo Shere Road, Joseph Street, is where great sons of Lagos like Abad Macaulay, Ajayi Crowder, etc. were buried. They were later removed from there, and the cemetery later gave way to a sports center. We lived at Evans Street, Lagos Island, opposite the Eti Chieftaincy Family Palace in the 60s and until the early 70s, when we moved to the middle-class Surulere neighborhood, where I lived most of my formative years. Those were days when the Lagos Municipal Transport Service, otherwise known as LMTS buses,
yes,
28, conveyed us
I remember
from the popular CMS bus stop
yes,
to the end of Adelabu Street, where we resided. Bus number 27 takes you to Ogulana Drive, and my stop was Alaji Nasha bus stop. My sojourn in life took me to Comprehensive High School, Ayetoro in Imo State, where I was privileged to meet other students from diverse backgrounds, including foreigners. It was a very interesting period, having to leave Lagos on my own.
These were the schools that you have to write common entrance examination.
From where we connect the buses that take us to Ayetoro. It was always very amusing when you read such inscriptions like, "One with God, no hurry in life."
Those were the interesting times, I remember.
Etc. on those buses. The most amazing way to feel your arrival in Abeokuta is the loud music of Ayinla Omowura, the Agbala legend that rents the air through the length and breadth of the motor park at Lafenwa, and indeed any motor park in Abeokuta. My holidays were very exciting and something to long for because I would spend part of it with my paternal grandmother at Isaleko, where she plied her trade in the sale of fried fish and shrimps. Staying with her offered me all opportunity to explore the wider Lagos Lagoon at Ebutero and environs, including the Igaidu Palace, where the late Oba Oyeko
Yes.
the gates of the palace open to all and sundry. I recall with nostalgic feelings how we as children go to play with our neighborhood friends, tire out after play,
Correct.
have dinner, and rest our heads in our neighbors' houses without any fear of abuse
Definitely.
or molestation.
Correct.
My extended family, even though was largely dominated by Muslims, comprises of Christians and traditionalists. We all partook in all the celebrations to festivals like
Correct.
Eid al-Maulud, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Kabir, Ileya, Christmas, Easter, Eyo Masquerade, Egungun, Gelede, Efe, and Fancy
Correct.
festivals. What with the visits to the sandy beaches in Lagos,
The Barbage.
beaches of Badagry, where we also had the opportunities to visit the first story building in Nigeria,
Yeah.
as well as the relics of slave trade in Nigeria.
That was the same slave trade.
No return, where the ships who took
When you watched the other one.
How can I forget my first trip to
Yes.
the United Kingdom in 1980 via Nigerian Airways, when my return ticket was
See?
bought at the cost of
1,000 naira, 780 pounds. 3780, 1980.
pounds sterling.
Yes.
And no visa was required for such trip. Life was so good that my Lagos State bursary of 500 naira per
Bursary,
day
yes.
was
We
more
used it.
than enough to form a
Yes.
big board. Remarkably, a close friend and I combined equal contributions of 300
I
naira.
received bursary
I
too.
bought a Volkswagen Igala for 600 naira in
Yeah.
1980. A car we jointly owned and drove around Lagos. Did we paint Lagos red? The rest is left for your imagination. So much to learn from the strong communal bonds of those days. A lot to digest about religious tolerance in those days. So, where did we get it wrong?
Where did we
Will
get it
actually
wrong?
believe us when we say we had so much fun in those days? I wonder how fast we have lost our moral and to a large extent cultural values. For me, it is not a hopeless situation. All that should therefore be on deck to continue to inculcate those time-tested values in our children for a better society. We can change the narrative. Our children must now be made to embrace the time-honored value of integrity, honesty, and respect for the dignity of others. Our challenge will now be to focus on how we can, instead of talking about the good old days, be projecting into a future that is greater than our past. Our children certainly deserve a brighter and better tomorrow, not the good old days. I therefore join others in joining Sir Shemo Orebadejo in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Thank you.
And indeed, that greater tomorrow is the emergence of the Yoruba nation. Perhaps, let me post your comment. Adegoke Adejari said, "We are sorry, but how do you want the professionals and the power to move the wheels behind the scenes when riffraffs were the ones leading the charge of the Yoruba nation online? I met an influential Yoruba man in Fort Worth, that's it, Texas, 8 months ago, and he said," let me read the rest from here. He said, let me see. Yes, I met an influential Yoruba man in Fort Worth, that's in Texas, 8 months ago, and he said the Yoruba people are not ready for freedom. This is a man that has access to president's businessmen. But I said it since last year. Councillor Ademiloa, good evening. I said it. See, a lot of people believe that those that knows how to speak Yoruba very well, blah 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 blah, tomama bu oba, tomama bu kabiyesi, tomama bu our politicians. Yes, you can vex your anger out on politicians. I do vex my anger out on those idiots as well. But yàrá yín ní brain rárá. Look at Sinn Féin. Everything about Sinn Féin was centralized when they were fighting the British, even on their soil. They subsequently got a political will to quit. Tony Blair and Bill Clinton struck the Stormont deal when McGuinness and Sinn Féin leader, what's his name again? Jerry Adams, signed a deal. They brokered a deal. Okay? There are other many instances that we can benchmark. See, many of these people, what you people don't know is that many of the agitators that are not really close to those that are in power, the majority of those that are secretly fighting, even for the agitation, but they cannot be mentioned. Let me tell you, Afenifere, for instance. There are some, I won't mention names, but there are some core key people inside Afenifere that they are Yorubas. Inside the same, those key top people, they've held positions, ministerial positions, everything inside different government. Many of those agitators that you see, did Koiki understand that somebody else, that I'm not even going to mention that person's name, had already written our foreign relations? Do they know the fight Dr. Oni and Professor Salako here in England are fighting secretly? But Nigerians will not go to where information will brush up their minds and then take them into the right path. Because many of them, I repeat, many of them, and I'm not going to withdraw this, they are all inside to make money. They are all inside because they want to make money. And then you will see this group would start, the next group, again, they're just forming groups, useless groups. Groups that are worthless. Let's bring the stream to an end. Thank you all, everyone. Nike Fontaine, thank you. Thanks everyone for staying put to watch the stream. There's something I'm still going to say to you, but hopefully not today. And that's all about the fact that the same hatred the black people they've got for themselves will be something that will be postponed to the next stream. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. How one group, you know the group, somebody created a logo using our resources and then claimed that logo was her intellectual property rights. I'm going to expose that too, because many of you don't know anything. So what then happened was that God, in his infinite goodness and mercy, then directed me into creating something that is even more complex and creative, to which the whole world is now talking about. And somebody had the audacity to now say, oh, this one is beautiful, that one is not. The one I created was then chosen. I'll tell you those stories. Many of them. They've formed new platforms. They call themselves Yoruba World Media Organization, as I believe. They will soon package something to you that they formed a central organization to put money. Don't put your money, because listen, that Yoruba World Media Organization, Afenifere UK tried to mediate so that they can coordinate properly. But those group again were not comfortable. I have their names. Because of their own selfish need, selfish interest. We are in big trouble. Thank you for watching the stream. We'll do it again. Aga over Igebo Mabel. We'll do it again. If you have not pressed the like button, go onto the page that you're watching it. If it is Facebook, on Liberty Media Communications, you can go onto the page. If it is HALLO Magazine, go onto the page, click like, and then following, and then you'll get a alert instantly when I'm live. If it is YouTube that you prefer to watch the stream, just click subscribe and then like the page, and then you definitely get alert anytime I am live. Thank you all for coming to watch the stream. It's been my pleasure. The time in London is 19:10 today, Friday 17th day of the 9th month of September 2021. I've been on now in the last for the last 2 hours and 18 minutes. Thank you for watching the stream. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and you have a great weekend. Thank you and God bless you. Goodbye.